Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is October 5th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1936, the luchador known as Black Gordman. 1966, the vivacious Terry Runnels. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, your pro wrestling deaths for October 5th. 1997, Flying Brian Pillman. 2006, the founder of AAA Mexico, Antonio Pena. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for October 5th. A super short trip in the Wayback Machine today as we start in 1982, where we see Judy Martin defeat Yakiro Amori for the All Japan Pacific title in Osaka, Japan. The belt had been vacated by former champion Jumbo Horora when she made the decision to challenge for the WWWA World Tag Team title. At the time, there were very strict rules about not being able to challenge for a title if you were a defending champion. 3 years later in 1985, the second WWF Saturday Night's Main Event special was shown on NBC, with a main event of World Champion Hulk Hogan defeating Nikolai Volkov with a leg drop in a flag match. Grabbing my flannel and going to the decade of grunge, 1991. Sasha defeats Monster Ripper for the WWC Women's World title in Puerto Rico. This would begin Sasha's third reign and mark the end of the fifth and final run of Monster Ripper. 5 years later in 1996, ECW held Ultimate Jeopardy! In the main event, the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer defeated Stevie Richards and Brian Lee in the Ultimate Jeopardy! Match, when Sandman pinned Richards. As a result, Sandman won Raven's ECW World title. Staying in 1996, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. defeats Tito Santana for the AWF World Heavyweight title. However, AWF Commissioner Jim Brunzell holds up the title due to Sheik Adnan's interference and orders a rematch, which Santana wins. These matches were the only title changes for the AWF strap. Santana was the first champion, as the company closes in December of 1996. And last but not least, 1997, WWF In Your House Bad Blood is main evented with Shawn Michaels defeating The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. Those were your super short but sweet pro wrestling history highlights for October 5th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.